What up, what up, what up, what up? It's your boy P. Skip. Welcome to the best half hour of your entire Tuesday. You know what time it is. It's time to get into his course. My squad with me, T-Mac.
Hola.
Chili Will.
Gracias, amigo.
Let's do this.
I'm just sick about being a Bucks fan about what I saw. The number one seed Milwaukee Bucks just getting 5 games swept by the Miami Heat again. And this is like the second time in 3 years that they did it to them. And it seems to me, from when they swept them in the bubble to what they've done now, Miami has done nothing different. They ran the exact same offense they ran when they were in the bubble, and Milwaukee didn't make any adjustments once again. So there's some things I want to talk about. Number one, why in the world did we go give up 2 second-round draft picks for Jay Crowder and never let him even sniff the basketball court the entire playoffs? Not once. Why would you go get him? Now, my thought is this. First of all, we know he's not quick enough to hold Jimmy Butler, but he is strong enough to beat him up and not let him get in that post, because none of our guards could stop Jimmy from just posting where he wanted to. At least Jay Crowder could have pushed him out and made him shoot extended free throws, and I'm okay with him getting 5 fouls, bruising Jimmy up. Beat Jimmy up. Make him pay for them shots. Nobody in the Bucks made him pay not one time for one shot he made. It was like he made basketball look like he was practicing against high school players. It was just that terrible. I have never seen somebody made the game look so easy since Jordan did. And I'm not saying he's Jordan-ish, but Spoelstra is so out-coached Bud, it wasn't funny. Spoelstra understood, if Jimmy's the one that's going to get us buckets, Jimmy buckets, then I don't want you bringing the ball up the court. You go do some back corner stuff, we'll do some off-ball screening, and then you come and get the ball in the spot that you want and shoot it. Whereas for us, Chris Middleton got hot in Game 5. He got hot. He was shooting decently. But you got him bringing the ball up. So now you got him bringing the ball up, and now he's got to create a shot, and he's tired. But that's 2 things. Let me just let one go. What do y'all think about the whole idea of why did we go get Jimmy Butler and not playing? Well, what do you think about that, Tim?
I think it was just, I thought it was terrible. It was kind of puzzling. I think Coach Bud, during the championship year, a couple of years back, people were calling for a change in the coach because his rotations were a bit, mercurial. I think that those same calls have been resurrected after this, unceremonious departure from the first round. One of the questionable moves was at the end of Game 5. There's only 0.5 seconds left on the clock. Miami had the ball at the end of regulation. You knew it was going to be a play at the rim. Why not have one or both of your twin towers protecting the rim such that Jimmy Butler wouldn't have the opportunity to push off Pat Connaughton? Refs aren't going to call it late in the game. They don't want to be the deciding factor. And, he tipped it in, sent the game to overtime. They eventually won. Why Jay Crowder didn't get played, originally I had questions about why they even wanted to pick him up in the first place. I didn't think he could add much, but I will say that towards the tail end of the regular season, when he did get his minutes to get his legs back ready for the playoffs, he made some solid contributions and was productive. I thought after putting Jrue Holiday, arguably one of the best defensive players in the NBA, against Jimmy Butler, after it became painfully obvious that he was punching above his weight, different weight class, playing against a bigger player, a stronger player. one that was determined to have his way with him. He averaged about 40 points for that series, including that 56-point outburst that really was the maybe nail in the coffin for the Bucs squad. You would think that the coach, seeing your best defensive player just get his heart ripped out night in, night out, that some adjustment would be made. My thought was they brought in Crowder, while it may be for a special team down the road, maybe a Boston or whatever. But if you have a need for him before you get to Boston, I would say plug him in to help ensure that you do get a chance to play Boston. If that was the squad or any other squad you brought him in, especially for as a designated defender. I thought that they could have also used Marjon Beauchamp, the young rookie, fresh legs, young guy, give him some experience. He might get cooked as well, but between those two players, those are 12 fouls that you can use against Jimmy Butler, and to ask Jrue Holiday to be an all-star for us on offense, run the show, give us the contribution that he normally gives, 16 to 20 points, 6 to 10 assists a game, while also taking on this, again, player that has him punching above his weight. I thought it was just poor decision-making. And I thought that one of the advantages, as I wrap this up, that we had going into the playoffs, which kind of fueled my confidence that not only would we make a nice deep run into the playoffs, no matter who we faced, but we probably had a good chance of representing the Eastern Conference in the finals, was that I thought we had an advantage with our depth. I thought we had a deep enough bench to where, hey, you can do some different rotations. As you mentioned, Pastor Skip, in the regular season, it seems like Bud was trying to check out combinations and seeing what works. I thought that was practice. So when he got to the playoffs, he'd know who to pull off the shelf in situational circumstances to give us the best chance to win, which it doesn't seem like he did. And with that, it was extremely disappointing that he didn't mix and match a bit more. I mean, what added insult to injury, no pun intended, was that Miami's second best player, second leading scorer, Tyler Hero, broke his hand in first game or second game, was out of the series. I'm thinking, hey, we got a deja vu. We get some fortuitous situations similar to when James Harden got hurt with the Nets, as well as Kyrie Irving. Hey, man, we're playing against a team that isn't at full strength. Let's go ahead and take advantage of that. They couldn't even do that. And so it was one of the more disappointing sports series defeats that I've witnessed and experienced. I had high hopes for the Bucs. I thought it was well-founded, the high hopes. It wasn't, a figment of my imagination. They just got outplayed time after time. And when the coach, who now is a championship coach, when it came time to make adjustments, I didn't really see him make any of them. Now, last thing I'll say is the players, y'all are on the court. Y'all should have manned up as well. When you see the coach ain't giving y'all no extra advantage, where do you have responsibility in just manning up and saying, hey, he done gave us 40-plus points 3 or 4 games in a row, Jimmy Buckets. He ain't Jordan. He's a good player, but I don't think he's elite. Let's do something to stop it. They didn't. It was almost as if they were in a funk. And even though Miami is a matchup problem for them historically, I still think that the Bucs, I thought, should have won that series, but they got thoroughly outplayed, outcoached, out-hustled, and out-hearted. And as we see now, hey, we're now licking wounds. Hopefully there's a lot of wholesale changes on the Bucs team, player personnel-wise, as well as in the coaching staff, that can, shake some things up, because obviously this coach has kind of lost the ear of his players because they didn't respond to whatever he was talking about in this unceremonious 5-game defeat that was a shocker, to say the least.
Well, being a former player myself and a former coach myself, I don't blame coaches as much as a lot of other people do. Coach Bud did not make key adjustments, key substitute patterns.
Wait. No, can I get you to say that again? Because a couple of years ago, I was hearing, man, leave Bud alone.
Bud made some mistakes. I mean, he really didn't do the job that he should have done when it came to decision making, substituting, calling timeouts. Even it's a couple times where he was suspect on checking the replay. Right. Like it's a couple times, like we should have checked the replay. and we didn't. And then we checked the replay and we lost. So it's a lot of stuff like that that went on. But I'm just a more of a firm believer of, the Bucks. Giannis himself missed 14 free throws.
Right.
And the team was like 21 for 41 on free throws.
Mm-hmm.
Game 5 and game 6. No, what was it?
Game 4 and 5.
4 or 5.
We only went 5 games.
Game 4 and game 5, we lost by 2 points. We missed 21 free throws in game 5, or at least 21.
Yeah.
In game 4, we missed 11 free throws. We lost by 2. Jimmy Butler had 56 points, and we lost by 2.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, so the games are very close, but if the players would have did the things they supposed to do, you got guys missing wide open shots. You got guys missing free throws. You got guys turning the ball over in the clutch. I don't know what was going on with Holiday. Like, man, you look like the mafia got your moms held hostage or something, the way you playing.
Mm-hmm.
It's insane, man. He played like, I don't know what the heck is going on with Holiday, man. That's very disappointing. But
let me ask you this question.
I blame more.
Let me ask you, as being a former coach, if you have a player that's just torching you, being a former coach, would you say, okay, he don't get the ball no more, we're going to double triple, we're going to see who else can beat us? I mean, that's just basketball.
I just, I was watching the game, and I'm going to tell you this. Matthews held Butler better than Holiday did. And the reason why Matthew held Butler better than Holiday did, because Matthew didn't help. He just stayed on Butler. He didn't care what they was doing. He stayed on Butler. Holiday going down, helping. Like, this man got 46 points. Who you trying to help with?
Right.
Somebody need to come help you. So he kept playing. He was, honestly, he seemed a little intimidated.
Mm-hmm.
He seemed a little intimidated. But Tim, I agree with you, man. In all of my years of being involved with sports, watching sports, coaching sports, playing sports, this was one of the most disappointing losses that I have ever experienced in my life. Man, I'm talking about I was physically sick from it.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't watch another game until I watched the Lakers game, the game that they won. But I didn't watch Sports Center. I didn't watch Stephen A. I didn't do nothing because I just was sick. And even now, I look at the playoffs and I was like, I can't believe we're not in it. The Bucks, the best team in the league. You look at these teams, we way better than these teams.
Exactly.
And we're not even in it, man. And this is so disappointing. And then you alluded to this, Tim. We got to deal with Middleton contract. We got to deal with Lopez contract. We got to deal with Carter. It's about 5 or 6 people on the team who we got contract issues. And then once again,
and Crowder and
Ingles. And Ingles.
Ingles too. And next season is Giannis's extension year, or whether he'll extend.
All of that's going on. The other thing too is, once again, people coming after our assistant coaches. Now the other assistant, that's the top assistant, Detroit trying to take him. So, every year Bud lose part of his coaching staff. I'm watching the Lakers against Memphis. That's 2 of our coaches coaching against each other.
Right.
So part of it is Bud, but part of it is when you got a good team and a good structure and all that, people come and pick your people off. And I don't know how much of a difference that Darvin Ham would have made being on the bench, but obviously with him, we went a whole lot further than we did without him. So I think it's something that he brings to the table that Bud don't bring to the table, or some of the other coaches don't bring to the table, that was glaringly missing.
Absolutely.
When you start talking about a guy just hitting 56 points on us and us not doing anything about it. I mean, the shot that he made to send it into overtime, everybody, I'm sitting in my section, I asked everybody, who getting the ball? Everybody say, Butler. So we all know that.
Right.
The Bucks got to know that. This man hit a shot laying down to send it into overtime. That's insane.
Wait, well, here's the other piece. After you had them up by 19.
It's insane, man. And then Giannis can't buy a free throw. Why we keep giving him the ball in the clutch? All they're gonna do is foul him. That's how they came back. We kept giving Giannis the ball. They kept fouling him. He kept missing. We should have been giving Grayson Allen, Holiday, Middleton, Lopez. That's who should have been getting the ball because they can't foul them because they can make free throws. So it's a lot that went into this that it's just sickening.
Yeah.
And you're right. The new owner is probably like, man, I wish I wouldn't have bought this team. Shoot. The owner that sold, he was like, man, I sold them when they were at their peak.
Right.
And I'm gonna say one other thing too. The Bucks losing early in the playoffs like this is economic devastation to downtown Milwaukee.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
It's economic devastation.
You know, I was talking to a former NBA great and a former All-Star, and I asked him, I said, who do you think gonna win it? He said, who's gonna win it and who's the best team are two different things. I said, what do you mean? He said, Milwaukee is the best team, but the NBA cannot let Milwaukee win because Milwaukee doesn't bring the ratings that other teams bring. Said it. Said it. He said they may be the best team.
I know they were sweating bullets when they had Steph Curry in a game 7. It was like, oh my God, Giannis is out. If Steph Curry go out, man, the pot just gets smaller and smaller. But look, man, that's my piece on it, man. I'm just physically sick behind it. I really am.
But here's where the NBA is going to make all their money. That LA Golden State series, that is where NBA is like, that's the kind of stuff we want on TV. That's the moneymaker right there. That's what makes money for everybody. Hey, listen, I'm not done talking about this whole thing. So let me ask this question, fellas. Another adjustment that could have been made. The deja vu for me, again, Butler doing what he did, but the other one was they kept putting Brook in a pick and roll, that high pick and roll, and Brook kept dropping back to the middle when all they did was stop and shot that mid-range game all day. Vincent looked like an all-star for Miami because Brook kept falling back in that pick and roll. It's the same situation that he had a problem with Brooklyn 2 years ago and Miami 3 years ago. The same issue. I'm looking at this going, okay, Brooke, they're going, we're not going to drive because you keep backing up and you give us the free throw jumper. And Bud never once said, make them drive past you. Do not give that free throw jumper up anymore. If you give it up, Leonard's going to be out there. Let's see if he's faster than you with his feet. Bobby's going to be out there. Let's see if he's faster than you on his feet. But you cannot keep giving up the same shot the same way 2-3 years in a row. I'm going, where's the adjustment here, bro? Can we not see that this is a problem? Hey, Stevie Wonder said, dude, you're going to have to get up. Everybody saw that. And I'm going, Dad, come on, man.
I keep hearing you say Bud, but I'm like I said, I just believe that's Lopez, dude. Bud don't got to tell you that. You've been playing basketball since you was 8 years old. You know the dude keep hitting the shot. You need to come up. Why does another grown man have to tell another grown man something that's glaringly obvious? Like, dude, they keep shooting the free throw line, jump shot. You need to come up. I just don't really believe that a coach. If it was me, the coach wouldn't have to tell me that.
Yeah, I agree.
He wouldn't have to tell me that. As a player, I would look at it like everybody else and say, you know what? You're going to have to beat me off the dribble. You ain't finna keep hitting these doggone free throws all day long. As a player, I would just make that decision on my own.
I agree with you, Will. But if he doesn't, then as a coach, you should say that I need to get you out the game because you won't make that decision.
True enough. That is true. That is true.
You, as a coach, would you say, obviously, you ain't smart enough to see that you keep giving up the same shot. I got to get somebody who's smart.
But then it's another thing too. It's if I'm doing that and you doing that, Skip, and me and Tim on the team, we need to come to you and say, Skip, what are you doing?
Right. And nobody said anything. So that must have been the scheme.
I think that's probably where the glaring absence of a Darvin Ham showed up more so than any place else. That point you just made, Will, at some point in time, after coaching staff, we've seen that that's either ineffective or we've turned a deaf ear to it. I'm going to hold my teammates accountable. I go to war with you. I'm in the trenches with you. In one of these timeouts, I'm saying, hey, look, punk, what is you doing? Somebody has to get into the face. We trust each other like that to hold each other accountable.
Yes.
And I think that Darvin Ham might have been that guy, the heavy, if you will, on that coaching staff that was able to get into the player's face. I'm not going to coddle y'all when y'all playing like some chumps. I'm going to tell it to your face.
Because he's a world. He won a championship, and that never happened. He won a championship as a player.
Exactly. And wasn't afraid to throw them hands either if you want to get slick too. So he had that championship pedigree, the respect, being a player, and can throw them hands, and was a grown man and carried himself as such. At some point in time, the grown manness in the Bucks was supposed to show up, and it didn't happen either. I don't know if it was shell shock or personality wise, we just don't have any quote unquote dogs like that. PJ Tucker, when he was talking about that kind of piece, that toughness, not just grit on the court, but that mental toughness that can get into your grill and force you or compel you to step up. That element seemed to have been missing this year in the playoffs as well.
I think that
I agree.
I think that was supposed to be Crowder's job. But because he never got on the floor, I think he was like, you know what, I'm done with y'all anyway. I'm really done with y'all.
And Bobby Portis really did it during the regular season.
I agree. But my question is...
Yes, on both fronts.
Right. My question is, again, if no player is saying anything to him, the coaching staff ain't saying anything to him, then he must, for me, again, just me thinking, then this must be the game plan of what they wanted him to do. Shadow, kind of shade the free throw, but then drop back so they don't get layups. They never. And the other time, they got so confident in the fact that he was too slow to. How many times did you see them drive right past him and make layups? They were doing that too.
Hey man, you know what? This is just sickening, man. I mean, I can't remember being this sick about a sports situation. I mean, this is just sickening, man. They messed up the whole summer. The whole summer. They messed the whole summer up.
Not the whole summer, Will. Not the whole summer.
The whole summer is messed up, man.
Yeah, we were straight expecting a deep playoff run. My kids were even talking about going back down for the championship parade. Had the plans already. Was ready for the 80-degree weather.
Been jumping all
in the summer. Yeah. You make a good point. And to your point about the businesses lost out on millions as well. They were expecting that bump in the crowd, not just the locals, but folks that come from out of town, traveling far and wide. And depending upon which
they really gonna feel it. It's gonna be hard for them to manufacture that money because it's no reason. It's no big. That was, man. They messed the whole summer up, man. They really did. It's gonna be interesting to see what kind of moves get made by John Hoyce during the offseason. It's going to be very, very interesting. And it's going to be interesting to see what the new ownership, what he has to say about some things. So it's going to be a really interesting offseason for the Bucks. Because I would assume Lopez is coming back. I'm not sure about who else. Holiday is under contract. He's already said he's gonna play his contract out with the Bucks and he's retiring. So he's already said that.
Who said that?
You think there's a real chance that Middleton doesn't come back?
I think it's a real good chance Middleton don't come back.
I think so too. I think I think there's a couple things that I think he sees, and I think Giannis sees. If I could just be, I think Giannis sees. I don't think I can win another championship with Bud as a head coach. I really think
he might. He might. But that's the only thing that's gonna get Bud fired is Giannis.
Yeah.
Nothing else.
And if they do let go of Bud, that may keep Chris Middleton. That may. You know, the crazy part I'm hearing is they're talking about Middleton and Drew for Dame. I'm like, that would be the worst move in the entire world for the NBA, for the Bucks. Because yes, you got some scoring, but you just gave away any type of defensive stopper that we have. Because Dame is not on your team to stop anybody. Dame is on your team to get buckets.
Well, I think the Beauchamp draft choice, because Beauchamp is like really, really he's a young guy. But I think the Beauchamp draft choice was a move to make Middleton a little more expendable. Because Beauchamp can shoot, he's athletic, he's young, you know, he's gotten a lot better defensively over this year. And I think they might be slowly maybe moving him, grooming him to be in there. And I really think, you know, Middleton been in the league 10 years. I think, you know, Beauchamp's a rookie this year. Next 2 years, I think he'd be well on his way to being at least as good as Middleton. You know, he could be better than Middleton, I think.
I think so too, because one, he's more athletic than Middleton.
Yeah, he can shoot the ball. He really can shoot the ball.
And his jumper looks good enough that it can be developed. It can be developed.
Yeah.
And the other things, the things that he's lacking in, that's just a matter of learning. You know, because,
experience.
Right. That's a matter of, you know, that some folks don't make a good transition from the G League to the NBA because of the speed.
He's a very young guy. I mean, he's like 19 years old, 20 years old. He's a very young dude. He got a long way to go.
Right. And so
but he shows a lot of promise.
I do think that's the piece that's probably going to make Middleton expendable. But we still got to figure out what we're going to do with Brook. Are we going to keep him? We're going to let him go?
We're probably going to keep Brook because the reason why we're going to keep Brook is because we can overpay Brook because of the work he's already done. So we kind of like owe him some money. Brook ain't going to be the same on other teams. He kind of like Draymond to me. Draymond ain't going to be the same on other teams. Draymond just fit what Golden State doing. Brook fit what we doing. Now, if we go get a different coach and a different scheme, then we all got to agree. Then next year, we're not trying to win the championship. We're trying to win the championship 2 years from now. Or 2 years from now, Giannis' contract is going to be up. Amen.
For the number one faith-based sports talk show in the entire world, Into His Courts. Until next week, have a good week. Peace.
Man.